Check your general knowledge by answering these questions. Last question is out of syllabus. In what year did Vasco da Gama become the first European to reach India by sea? 1498. What Portuguese explorer was the first to circumvent the globe by boat? Ferdinand Magellan. What country is credited as being the first to develop a paper-making process? China. In what year did Roald Amundsen become the first person to reach the South Pole? 1911. Who was the first female Prime Minister of Britain? Margaret Thatcher. Amelia Earhart was the first woman to complete a transatlantic flight in 1932. Where did she take off from and land? Newfoundland to Ireland. In what year was Mount Everest climbed for the first time? 1953. What was the first European country to enact a law abolishing slavery in 1542? Spain. John Jay was the first person to become what in 1789? U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice. In what year did Sandra Day O'Connor become the first female U.S. Supreme Court Justice? 1981. Who was the first person to travel to space? Yuri Gagarin. The first woman went to space in 1963. What country was she from? Russia. In what year did the first person walk on the moon? 1969. Who was the first woman to receive a medical degree in the U.S.? Elizabeth Blackwell. Who became the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in 1911? Marie Curie. What was the first major book mass-printed in Europe? The Gutenberg Bible. What was the first video game developed in 1958 called Tennis for Two? Who was the first person to see the moon's surface through a telescope? Galileo Galilei. In what city was the first skyscraper built? Chicago. In what year did the first humans fly in a hot air balloon? 1783. In what U.S. state did the Wright brothers complete the first human-powered flight? North Carolina. In 1947, who was the first person to fly faster than the speed of sound? Chuck Yeager. Who was the first holder of a U.S. patent? Samuel Hopkins. In what country was the first battery developed by Alessandro Volta? Italy. In what year did Samuel Morse send the first telegraph message? 1836. Who developed the first electronic communication between two computers? Ray Tomlinson. In what country did Johannes Gutenberg invent the first printing press? Germany. Who developed the first diesel engine in 1892? Rudolf Diesel. Who invented the first telescope in 1668? Sir Isaac Newton. In what year did Greece first introduce the concepts of democracy on a significant scale? 508 BC. Who was the first woman to be awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Literature? Edith Wharton. Who wrote the first bill to explicitly allow religious freedom in the West? Thomas Jefferson. In what year did Joseph Galetti invent the first toilet paper? 1857. Who invented the first telephone in 1876? Alexander Graham Bell. In what year was the first Earth Day celebrated? 1970. What cities did the world's first major intercity railway connect? Liverpool to Manchester. What was the name of the first movie with spoken dialogue made in 1927? The Jazz Singer. In what year did Jacopo Peri write the world's first opera? 1597. Who was the first baseball player to hit 50 home runs in a season? Babe Ruth. Who was the first Tour de France winner? Maurice Guerin. Who was the winner of the first women's Olympic marathon in 1984? Joan Benoit. The first person to run a sub-2-hour marathon, Eliud Kipchoge, is from what country? Kenya. Who discovered penicillin, the first antibiotic, in 1929? Alexander Fleming. Edward Jenner developed the first vaccine to protect against what disease? Smallpox. In what year did Robert Cornelius take the first documented selfie? 1839. What was the primary goal of the women's suffrage movement? Right to vote. Last question. Where are Native Americans?